everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Tykirarenee, and today I want to talk about the death of Authortube. Now that I'm back, I figured I was just going to pick up right where I left off, and where I left off at was doing author tags and writer tags and everything like that, where I would just answer questions based on the different tags, that it was about. So I started to do some research. I'm like, okay, what's the latest tags that's out now? And it's not there's not that many. From what I've been finding was from a lot of old YouTube videos from like years ago. So I started to see more things of the death of Authortube and Authortube is dead. I'm like, okay, what happened? Like what? And I feel like I was on the tail end of it, or I was at the beginning of it. So I was just going to explain where my perspective was. So Authortube was a community of people that just came on YouTube, and it was usually just a bunch of writers, and they share their writing advice. They share their lives. They try to give advice about how to manage the work life, home, writing life, everything. And it was good to watch. Like, it was good to just be a part of that community that was going through the same problem that you felt like you were going through. So a one woman would come on there and she would talk about how she's like writing as a new mom. And if you were a new mom and you were just struggling to try to meet your goal count, you're just like, how do I manage this? And it was refreshing to have her come along and just say, well, this is how I've been doing it. Same thing when it came down to how to manage, you know, the Aquarian trenches, for example, as a beast. And we all needed advice on how to navigate that. And it was really, it was something that a lot of us needed, because writing is such a solitary thing. It's such a sit at the computer, face nothing but a screen, get the words down, nothing else matters. So it was really refreshing, opening. I don't even know the exact words. I'm a writer. Oh my goodness. It was such a feeling that you got, just knowing that your struggles were acknowledged, seen, and being navigated through like a river. Like, you could be somewhere drowning, but if you see someone making on the other side, you're like, okay, there's a side to be made over. So I'm like, good. And it wasn't like, someone who just made it over, or someone who was receiving all the acclaim and success, and then they were saying like, oh, this is how you become me. It wasn't that. It was more of a, oh man, I didn't feel like writing today, and here's why. Or the sun is not shining and I only got 3 words on the page, type of thing. So I navigated towards that. Like, as soon as I really set out to be a writer, I navigated towards that. The problem is, though, when by the time I was going through what I was going through, I started to notice a little bit of a shift. And I think I think 2 things caused the shift. One, I think that there was a situation, and I really didn't do 1,000 bit of research, so please bear with me. There was a situation where one of the major authortuber persons was selling ARCs, and ARCs stand for Advanced Reader Copies. So I think they're supposed to be free, and there was a lot of hashtags, ARCs are free, and don't sell your ARC, and something else, and it was just a lot of hashtags after hashtags. So the people came on, and then it was like, the first person that comes on, and she was like, okay, I'm just saying how I feel. And there's a lot of stuff floating around. This is how I feel. I feel like arcs shouldn't be sold. They should be free. They are something that you give out to readers for them to read, give you feedback, and everything like that. Like, so whatever the stance was with the person who gave, who tried to sell them, I don't agree with it. That was person number one. Person number two was like, okay, I see how many views that person got. So let me see if I can get some views too. I'm laughing because it was the thing. So they were like, okay, I'm going to do a follow-up video, please check out so-and-so's video who said this, that, and the third. So they gave them acknowledgement, and it was like, they said it. So I'm just piggybacking off of what they said. And I truly, feel like arcs should not be sold to their readers. And I really don't appreciate it. Okay. Okay. Number three. So the next person was like, okay, let me tell you how I feel about this. I do not agree that arcs should be sold. They should be this, that, and third, blah, 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 blah. And I don't think I like her eyebrows. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I don't think I like her eyebrows. Fourth person came on. Let me tell you about that bitch's eyebrows. And it was like, okay, where are we going with this situation? Because it started escalating and escalating and snowballing. And by the time everyone kind of like looked up, it was like, okay, are we a community? Are we, I don't know. Are we a little bit of mean girlish? I don't know. But that situation happened, and it was what it was. So while that was going on, there was a lot of the ones on the higher tier, the ones who had 80 to 100,000 subscribers. After everything they did, after the platform that they built, after all the advice they gave on sentence structures and characterizations and character assessments and descriptions and how to write a better this and how to do a better that, they came out with books. The books were not all of them, not all of them. The majority, no, I won't even say majority. The ones I read, because I read about 3 of them, they were not good. I mean, if I just picked it off of Kindle, or if I just went to a bookstore and saw them there, and I'm like, I read the back flap, and I'm like, okay, this sounds interesting. Oh, I know her or whatever. I would have just picked it up and read it, and I'm like, okay, well, this eh, this could have been shortened. This could have been edited. This could have been, uh, you know, some things could have been done. But with them being so, excuse me, with them claiming and professing to be so knowledgeable about sentence structure, about descriptions, about world building, and all these different things, to read the book that they actually wrote, seeing the mistakes, seeing that it desperately needed an editor. Like, there was some things that, or some books that desperately needed maybe 2 chapters to just go away, because I promise you wouldn't have noticed that they were gone. And I won't name any names or anything like that, because I really don't want to tear them down at all. But I think people started to see, like, okay, this doesn't line up to what you said in that video, that this was going to be, this should be like that, and that character should be like this, and the dynamic should be like that. I do not, no, 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 no. So a lot of people, I think a lot of subscribers started to understand that, okay, maybe this is not it, or maybe this person does not know as much as they think they know. And then if that's the case, why am I following them? Why am I chatting with them? Are they using me as clout to build their platform? Are they using me as just a number to fill their subscriber list? That type of thing. Because if what it seems like all you're doing is just going to conferences or reading books or reading blogs or listening to podcasts or getting the knowledge from somewhere else and then regurgitating it to me, I might as well just go to the source. I might as well just go to someone who is an expert and not someone just claiming to be. Um, and I think that might have been, it probably wasn't the final nail in the coffin, but it had to have something to do with it all. But I treated it as a journey. Like, I'm really struggling to get these words on the page because I don't feel well. Like, my stomach hurts, or I'm coming down from that coffee crash type of thing. Like, or my child kept me up all night, or I'm struggling. I'm trying to build a life as a writer, but I have to face the real world and pay bills, that type of thing. So there was plenty of women, I want to say women, it was plenty of people that was coming on here and just really journaling, like using the camera to journal their story, their progression, their trek to be a writer, full time or published or anything else. But there was other ones who was using it to say, using it as a way to be like, hey, this is what you should do. This, you follow my example. This is how you should. This is where should improve, when they have not improved. Because if you don't know, and I can see the evidence that you don't know, if I can see characters fall flat, or you know prose that are just way too over the top, or typos, or something that you have harped about for like 4 videos, and those 4 videos got tons of views. You have established yourself as an expert when I don't see the results of it. And that no matter where you go, it's not even in the writer industry, it's anywhere. You establish yourself as an expert and you have nothing to show for it, there are going to be people who leave. There are going to be people who exit. There are going to be people who disregard. And I believe that was why everything got as bad as it did. So right now, my advice would be to encourage anyone who wants to put their journey out there, because this is what I'm doing, to just talk about what you are struggling with, what you are dealing with that day, and this is how you discovered how to put sentences together. I saw this video, I read this book, in this chapter, this really helped me, or in this scene, this has really helped me. That's why I think A lot of people are annotating books because they're just trying to point out to themselves different things that struck out to them as a good and that's why I think a lot of people are annotating books right now, because they're pointing out to themselves how to build a sentence structure, or how to introduce a gang of characters and have each one of their voices sound distinct. I think people are figuring out for themselves, and you still have those, you still have them, you still have people out, major YouTubers making more content, actually putting great things out, and I do appreciate every one of them. But the ones who do not know, I want to be clear, if you do not know, making a video can cover a lot of things. It can cover a lot of things. It will not cover what you're unable to show. It takes a lot to be an expert. It does. It takes a lot of mistakes to be an expert. And if you come on and turn the camera on you and only talk about your successes and wins and saying, hey, this is how you do it, you got to be able to back it up. So I can just leave it at that. You got to be able to absolutely back it up. And if you can't, say that. Say that to your viewer. I did not back it up, because there's some people that just disappeared. You have their pages done, channels shut down. You cannot find them. Why? Because everything that they said didn't amount to anything, and that I feel bad for, because that the mistake is what you want to see. Once you publish a book and it doesn't do well, once you take everything that you've learned, implemented it, and it didn't, it bombed, it plummeted, it fell so hard that it took your hopes with them. That's what we want to see. We don't have to, like, you know, you don't have to glorify it. You don't have to, like, you don't have to, make it a whole big thing. You can even turn off the comments, because I'm going to turn off the comments of all these videos right now. But to come back and be like, hey, this is how you do it, let me show you how, when you are just as blind as me, it's never going to work. And I think that's probably what happened. So that is all for now. Thank you for being with me again. And don't forget to like and subscribe. All right? Have a great day, y'all.